Hello everybody, I'm Cody Proctor here with Rick Tryon, one of the candidates running for City Commissioner for the city election for the City of Great Falls. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing very well. How about you?
I'm doing very well.
Very good.
So the city elections are coming up in just a couple of weeks. Can you tell me, why are you running for City Commissioner?
Well, Cody, I was raised here in Great Falls on the lower south side. I have 4 generations of my family, my immediate family, currently live in Great Falls. This is my hometown. I remember growing up here, stuff like chocolate malts at Baylor's Ice Cream downtown. I remember ice skating at the Civic Center. A lot of people don't know that they had ice skating there. I remember one of my greatest memories is, and anybody who was raised here or is from here knows this, coming home from an out-of-town trip, seeing the smokestack in the distance was your key that you were almost home. Smokestack's no longer there. I remember things like Saturday matinees at Liberty Theater, but the thing I remember most is that Great Falls used to be the most prosperous, bustling city in Montana. And I'm running because I want to help make it that way again.
Now on to my next question. What do you think you can bring to the position?
Well, I think that, you know, when you talk about experience and qualifications, I have all of that. I've got all of the experience and qualifications necessary to do the job as a city commissioner. But more important than experience and qualifications and education is character, honesty, common sense, and integrity. And those are the qualities I want to bring, as well as a deep roots in this community and a real understanding of where we were and where we can go and where we are now. And so I'm hoping to bring a sense of history, but it's sort of like Back to the Future. You know, I think, or I guess in this case it would be from the past, you know, it's the future is the past, because we were once the city in Montana to live. And so I want to get us there again. I want to help get us there again. And I think in order to do that, we have to be willing to stand up to the status quo, make some changes in the city commission, not be hyper-focused on one neighborhood or one group of people, but to represent all of the people and to you know, do what's best and do what's right for all of our community. And I feel like I can bring that, being from Great Falls and being a Great Falls guy, I feel like I can bring that because I understand that.
From your standpoint, what are the main challenges for the city?
Well, from my standpoint, and I think I'm hearing, and when I talk to people, and I talk to a lot of people in this community, I have been for years. I didn't just start listening to people when this campaign started. I've been involved in this community in many aspects for a long time. And the number one concern I hear, and by far, is that we are a low-income community and we need higher paying jobs and more of them in this community. That's number one. The second thing I hear most often is the average, you know, people in our community feel like sometimes their voices aren't being heard at City Hall. They feel like they're being drowned out. Their voices are drowned out by some of the special interests and some of what's called the good old boys club in this town, and they feel like their voices aren't heard. So there is sort of a disconnect sometimes between City Hall and people in this community, and that is, and I think that well, we can talk about some of the solutions that I think would help solve those problems as we go forward here.
Well, I do have a couple more questions. Some say Great Falls is stagnant as far as economic growth. Do you agree or disagree with that? And where do you believe the greatest opportunities lie?
Yeah, I do believe we are stagnant. We're at 70% of the national average for wages in this town. We have made some progress. I think that we could really make a lot more progress in that area if we would adopt an attitude and a motto at City Hall of how can we help you succeed, not you can't do that. And I hear that a lot, people doing from small projects all the way up to big projects. People say sometimes in the past there has been, and even now it lingers a little bit, an attitude of, well, you can't do that here, instead of how can we help you do that here. And I think if we would adopt that attitude, that would go a long ways towards solving that problem. The opportunities that I see for Great Falls are because of our central location and because of our agricultural background, value-added ag. I also think there's a huge opportunity in high tech. You don't need a huge transportation and logistics mechanisms in order to do high tech. Coding camps are huge. One of the ideas that I've had, that I've talked with some people about, is doing a coding camp here in Great Falls. You don't need to have a rail system out to teach people how to do coding boot camps. That's huge. I think also we have opportunities to be a medical regional center for medical research and just a medical care center. And we're doing that. We're starting to see that with the Benefice and others here. So I think that's an opportunity. I think light manufacturing is an opportunity here. We could do more. Again, value-added ag, high-tech, light manufacturing, and a medical research are the real opportunities we have here.
So final question.
Okay.
What role do you see for yourself as commissioner to spur economic growth?
Right. There's probably 2 or 3 things that the commission as a whole and individual commissioners can do. Number one is you have to be able to work to create the environment that is conducive to and friendly to economic development. So, and there's several ways to do that. I've been working on that for years. I was part of the development process task force here in town. We began to approach the city commission, the city manager, and the planning and community development on some ideas in 2 or 3 different ways that we could improve the environment here for development and jobs. So that's number one thing that a commissioner individually and as a whole could do. Number 2 is I think that our city commission, and I know it's in the charter that the city commission is not supposed to be or is decided not to be directly involved in economic development. I disagree with that. I would say that individually and collectively that our city commissioners can amend that charter and that we should be directly involved in that. I think there's a lot that a city commissioner can do and the city commission as a whole can do to be sort of cheerleaders and economic development boosters in this community. But number 3, and most importantly, I think that we need to have some specific goals, and goals are not aspirations. And I think people understand that difference. An aspiration is just a general, I want to be this or I want to do that. A goal is a quantifiable, a qualifiable benchmark that you set that has real results. I think we could do a lot by setting some of those goals for our city in terms of higher incomes and jobs.
All right, well, Rick Tryon, thank you again for being here with
Thank
us
you, Cody.
in the studio today.
I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The city elections for Great Falls do take place on November 3rd, so be sure to get out and vote.